Hi Daniel, it's Pete here. I think what we should do on this first video is actually put you through the functions of the actual DVR itself. Okay? So with the DVR we have three functions we do, as we spoke about. We're using the one keyboard to drive the computer, to drive the overlay, and to also use upon the DVR. There's one function with the DVR that doesn't operate, and that is the keyboard, because the DVR itself has its own built-in on-screen display keyboard. Okay, but you can use the mouse with it. So first of all, let's go to the computer. Okay, so what you can see in front of you now is you can see my quad overlay of my CMS system running to show you how this DVR works and how the keyboard overlay switcher works. There's my mouse moving about now. Okay, so for me to use the keyboard on there, what I have to do is I have to use the function control 1. Okay, so I go control 1. That now entails that I've got mouse and I've got a keyboard function. That noise you can hear is a keyboard function. To ensure that that is the correct way things are happening, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to maximize my screen a little there, minimize my main screen, go back into Windows. I'm going to hit that Windows key and you'll see the menu popping up and down. That's indicating that the keyboard is now in Windows mode, okay, or computer mode. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put the DVR unit back on again, or the CMS back on. There it is, it's back on. I'm going to minimize it. I've minimized it to give us ample screen viewing. Now the next thing we want to do is, it'd be nice to see what the DVR looks like, wouldn't it? So to be able to do that, we have to use the second function, second function keys, which is control 2. So if we go control 2, we find we have it all kicking in now, and we've now got a keyboard. Now by rights, if that keyboard's working correctly, as it should be, I should be able to hit page up and we should get an overlay, correct? So I'm going to hit page up and up comes the overlay. So there's our overlay. Okay, I'm going to move the cursor up and down. There's the cursor going up, cursor going to the right. Yep. Cursor going to the straight down again, then to the left, and that's those functions there. Now, to show also the functions are working, we talked about if we didn't have this actual overlay screen here of a time date system, or time date stamp as we call it, we could always put one on, and that can be supplied by the actual overlay itself. So the overlay, by doing that, we hit Control F, we hit F4, and it'll bring up a time date stamp. Okay, if we want to take that out, we go Control F4 and that removes it. Okay, now I'm not going to go into more keyboard functions than that, because I know you've already got a keyboard and you know what the functions are anyhow. The next thing we want to do is we want to have a look and see. Now if you look to the right of your screen, you'll see I've got the quad set up here on the right. The one says deck, and there's my TV up there. It's a 28-inch TV. okay, and it's got a quad setup on it. That is at the actual DVR output, okay. That's the actual DVR screen you will get. So if you look carefully to the top in this region here, you'll see there's some writing. That writing is this writing here, okay. So what I'm going to do is, just so you can see how it works, I'm going to take off that overlay, okay. So the overlay will go off the left hand screen, and you'll see it disappear at the top here as well, okay. So I'm going to go page down, and it's gone. You can see it both have gone. It's gone from here and it's gone from here, okay. Now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to move that mouse so it'll be running around in this region here, and we're going to transfer the keyboard or the mouse to the DVR recorder. So remember, we're using one keyboard and mouse for everything. So here we go. Control 3 should now allow us to put this mouse here on that DVR screen. Can you see it running about there? I'll just bring it down about a little bit. There it is. You can see that? There it is there. So that now explains the functions which are involved with the DVR. The functions with your DVR are control with the DVR and the switching unit. The switcher is control 1, and that puts you on the computer. It'll all be in the manual anyhow. Control 2, that'll put you on the overlay, and control 3, that'll put your keyboard, or put your mouse to your DVR. So it's one keyboard and mouse will control a lot, okay. Now just looking at the going back onto the actual DVR itself, as I mentioned to you before, we have on-screen displays, okay. So I'm going to go down to the right hand box, which is I've written down as being the black box on that screen, and I'm going to right click on it. Now when I right click on it, it brings up a menu, and that is the main menu there. Now you can't see that main menu very clearly, but it's got menus, it's got sub menus on it and everything else. It has different views, asks you where you want it, what screens you want it on, etc. Playback, record and everything else. Now the main thing is to let you know that the DVR unit we did mention about, you asked me about, does it snapshot? Well, apparently this version does not snapshot, the one they've sent me. So, but we have got an option for snapshot. I'll explain to you later. Okay, so let's get on to the main differences here. We'll go on to the main menu. We'll go on to here, and we'll show up what the keyboard looks like, alright? So if I go to the keyboard, you can see what it looks like there. If I need to put a number in or something like that, I could put a number in. Let me go back out of there. Okay, I'll go to general. Can't really do it in general. Okay, I'll go back. Let me try it in display. Okay, in display. Now, for instance, look at the channel sets. See where it says ROV. See, I've just clicked on ROV and up comes a keyboard. You can see it there now. There's a virtual keyboard. That's the keyboard you'll be using with this unit. Okay, and the same thing will happen with a numerical keyboard will come up, which will have numeric numbers on it and all that. But you should not need to touch anything like this. It should be all under control. When you set it up, shows you need to touch it once. Okay, Daniel, I'm not going to confuse you anymore. I'm going to knock it on the head there, okay? So, because we'll cover other things in another video. Okay, mate, I'll speak to you later on. Bye now.